Ready, set, go.
Welcome back to 20,000.
Welcome.
What?
Welcome.
Welcome. Last we left our heroes, our boys made some freaking big plays.
That shit was nuts, honestly.
They ran a
train on running.
Wait, hold on.
That shit was bananas.
A nice
Crazy.
little locomotive lateral pass.
Yeah, they ran a train on somebody. Wait, no, that's not the right word.
Yeah, Manny had to uncouple the one train car in order to get it to go the right distance with that amount of fuel, and wasted a bit more OBT than he may have been able to afford.
But it was sick as fuck.
But it was sick as fuck, and we were all very excited. So
yeah,
we're on chapter 8, and we're starting with Nick's line. So Kim, whenever you
take away.
I'm thinking we both head south and wait right at the edge of the WKU field. We sit a few days and we wait for other teams to pass on through. Then we can meet up again. As soon as we've let a few teams pass on their way to tech, you and me meet back up and head northwest on WKU. I know we talked about heading up to Iowa before we cut west, but I'm saying don't fuck with any of that. We gotta get these balls cross-country fast as we fucking can, you know? I think we just cut west on Oklahoma State and run our asses straight to Stillwater. Meet up with Mike and them at Grambling there. That's a lot of time to spend on one field, but fuck it. The west was pretty empty to start with. And there's just 2 of us. We can hide if someone comes through. Probably up in a tree somewhere if we have to. You know? Well, what do you think?
Okay.
Plus, I issued a challenge. They say that they can give me back those 10 seconds of OBT. They said it was a scorer's error. Okay?
Babe, why the fuck did you do that?
It's the only way I could have done it, Manny. Only way.
You know it wasn't.
Look, you gotta trust me to throw. You said you trusted me to make the throw. I tried to do the math with all the cars on it, and there was just too much involved. Way more weight that could make it coast too long. Way more wheels. That's way more resistance. There was no way I had to simplify. Like, I had to feel it. The engine, the 3 cars, I can't get a grip on that. But if it's just the engine, that I felt like I could.
You punked out. You fucking punked out on that shit.
Oh, come on.
Mike tell you to do that shit?
I mean, not exactly, no.
I don't understand why you... If breaking off the cars was such a big deal, I don't understand why you can't just break off the connector thing.
The coupler. I already told you why I couldn't do that. These new ones, you can only do it from the cab. There's no release on the coupler itself. You gotta do it remotely. And it just took me a minute. For the whole thing to boot up and all, it just took me a minute.
Yeah, literally a minute. More than that. You needed every second of that to cross the desert. You and me, we're a team, you know? We make decisions together. You have no right to just pop off and do shit like that.
No, I just knew that.
What the fuck am I gonna do without you, Nick? If I can make it home, but you can't?
I still can. I can still try.
Yeah, with fucking... What's the math? You're gonna run 320 miles?
I mean, you know I've been training.
Yeah, on the treadmill in Atlanta, in air conditioning, running flat, and you still couldn't hit that.
But look at you, though. You're still gonna have almost all your time. I mean, look what I did for you. I made a fucking miracle happen, and I'm like, you're putting me in the shit here. And I pulled off a fucking miracle.
Did for me? Best thing you could have did for me was keeping your time, giving me a partner, giving me my fucking husband.
Look, come on.
I mean, what happens if Coach calls you back? I bet if I was Coach, I'd look at your time and be like, no, you gotta wait. You gotta wait on the field another 100 years. And then she'd make me try and run it by myself. Babe, I don't want to do 100 years without you.
I know. I could do it. I'd wait 100 years. Would you wait for me?
Hi, everybody. If I could please get everybody's attention. Hey, folks. If I could just have a minute before we get started. Thank you. I'd just like to welcome everybody to game night at the Illinois Chess Club. This is the first night of the fall season, and I'm happy to see so many new faces. I think some of you have already met her, but if you haven't, I'd like to announce that we have a celebrity in the room tonight. Over there at table number 7, we've got Lori Irving as a special guest. Lori's a college football player with Texas A&M, if everyone could give her a hand.
Yay!
Lori,
Clap, clap, clap,
how
clap, clap.
familiar are you with Illinois chess?
Hi. Actually, this is my first time playing Illinois chess. I played some standard chess tournaments, but this is a new one for me. I'm sure I'll pick up the rules as I go.
Well, we're so happy you're here, and I hope you enjoy the Illinois variant. What brings you to Illinois, unless you don't want to leak too much of the playbook?
Oh no, not a problem at all. I'm playing prevent for Texas A&M. I was just assigned to this position a couple years ago.
And I know we've got a lot of football fans in the room, but for those who aren't familiar, what does it mean to play prevent?
Well, Northern Illinois is one of those fields we think of as sort of the gateway to the West. It runs north-south, and my job is to patrol up and down the field and sort of be ready to make an interception if someone tries to bring a football out west. Or if there's a whole team and I can't take them on, I'll just scout them out and let my teammates know.
So you're playing chess in the middle of a football game. I guess you can't do it all, huh?
Well, we'll see. Wish me luck.
Of course. Good luck to Lori and to everyone else here. And I think everyone's aware, but I'm obligated to let everyone know, just for the record, this building is on Northern Illinois' field. We don't expect any disruptions, and we've never run into a situation like that. But if there is a football coming through the area and we've got action in here, I've received approval from the Illinois Chess Association to suspend matches or nullify results. If there were to be any disruption in play, I'd meet with both players of each match and find a resolution that works for everybody. All right, that's all from me, unless there are any questions.
Why am I here?
Because you're fucking forced to. No. Okay, great. I'll be here in case anyone has questions or needs any rule clarifications. Have a good match, everyone.
Good luck.
Good luck.
So, you're the banker. Whoever plays black is the banker.
Oh, all right, sure.
I'd like to buy Joliet, please. Here is $400.
So what does that get you?
Well, now I can charge rent on this square. It's 10%. So if you ever move a piece to Joliet, you have to pay me $40 every turn you spend on it.
Jesus Christ.
Is everything all right?
No, yeah, no, sure, yeah. All right, E5.
Are you going to buy Aurora?
No, I don't think so.
So, I'll just tell you this because you're new. You definitely want to buy as many squares in the middle of the board as you can. That's why they're so expensive.
I'll pass for now.
Yeah, suit yourself. D4.
Knight C6.
Declining the gambit? Alright. Here's $1,000 annexing Rockford and Joliet.
What's that?
Rook Factory. Every 4 turns, I get a rook now. If I annex a third adjacent property, that accelerates it to 3 turns.
Okay. Capturing on D4 then. Gotta bust up your factory.
I can't do that.
I can't?
No, sorry. You need to build a consortium first.
How do I do that?
To build a consortium, you need to move both bishops to the same file and leave them there for 10 turns. Then for those 10 turns, you can't move a piece. Basically, building a consortium counts as a move.
What the fuck? This is something else!
You'll pick it up pretty quickly.
I don't think I will, but is there any significance to the city names themselves?
Nah, not really. It's pretty much just the biggest cities in the middle, then they kind of spiral out into smaller towns. Too bad Lucca didn't make it on here. We've got more history than most of the cities in Illinois. I mean, this is where Alexander the Great is buried.
What?
What?
Okay. So you've got one more turn before you can earn the consortium. Once that happens, you...
Wait, hold on. Tell me the Alexander the Great thing.
Oh, well, yeah, somewhere around here, the remains of Alexander the Great and Cleopatra are buried.
What? Okay.
I'm serious. Ask around. Anyone in this town will tell you.
Alright.
We're not sure the exact year, but around 100 BC, a bunch of colonists from Greece, some
Phoenicians.
Phoenicians, and some people from northern Africa fled the old world with a bunch of treasure, and that included the remains of...
Ptolemy.
Sorry?
Ptolemy.
Ptolemy, Cleopatra, and Alexander the Great. They sailed their ships through the Mississippi River, then started exploring the land. Eventually they got to Illinois and found some caves in there, and eventually they thought it was the perfect place to hide the treasure. Not around that time. Now around that time there was, And, you see, the thing to know about that is, those were clearly Phoenician ships, and they found rock carvings of Alexander the Great and the classic Greek style. Now, as exactly what? That's what NASA's secretly been trying to find out for a long time, but it's really difficult to... And, I mean, think about it. Those academic types may have every reason to discredit us. If people from Greece and Libya came over to Illinois 1,000 years before Columbus did, that topples over every pillar in their ivory tower. It disrupts their whole worldview, so of course they're going to say that this is all made up. But ask yourself, if this is a hoax, how come every time you ask someone in Lucca about Alexander the Great, every single one of them will tell you that his bones are nearby? All those people are just magically wrong. You know what I think? I think that if we're being honest, it's that... But, of course, he blew up the cave entrance because he didn't want anybody looting his treasure he found. And all these years since, we haven't been able to find the entrance, but based on his journals, we know it's somewhere south of Lucca. That's pretty much what we know to be scientific fact, and...
Oh, by the way, it's actually Iuka.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. Just letting you know.
Yeah, thank you. Kind of a breakaway segment of us who think it was there's kind of a breakaway segment of us who think it was extraterrestrials. Me, I'm a scientist, so I think every theory is worth exploring, but I don't think there's anything of extraterrestrial nature at work here. Nothing supernatural or anything, just a lost arc or chapter of history. Anyway, I've been rambling. So it's been 10 turns now, and you're eligible to challenge my factory in the annexed squares. Could you move your stuff off the table here?
You actually believe this? All of this shit. It's not a joke. You actually believe it.
Well, yes. Could you move your stuff off the table? We need it for the arbitration phase of this game. Now that you've earned a consortium, you can now use the arbitration to try and take my factory off the board. If you could just... We need more room on the table.
Huh?
What the fuck?
Huh?
What? What is that? What is that? Oh my fucking god! What?
All right.
You're now in arbitration mode. In order to enter the Four Sanctums, you're going to need either a rook or a queen or a king if you're really desperate, since you really have to move horizontally along the corridors. To win arbitration, you must defeat the knights, bishop, pawn, and rook that you see before you. Before the Four Sanctums, traveler, wizards, and warlocks await ye. Goblins and ghouls round every corner.
What?
So you can now move. You can move whenever. I was wondering, you're really cute. I mean, I think you're really pretty, and I was wondering if you might want to go on a date sometime. Or, this could be a date right now, if you wanted to count it as a date. So,
The audacity.
oh yeah. I've got some more stuff to tell you about the ancient hidden treasure cave, I could tell you. There's other variants to this game we could play too, like the expansion set where you land on Chicago and game transfers to another board that represents Cook County, and you're awarded a new type of piece called the Councilman, who you roll a set of dice, and however many rolls you make, however many you roll is how many spaces the Councilman moves. Personally, I don't think it's a very strong piece, but there are some strong players who play it, like the Rockford chapter, who have found some really interesting ways to utilize it. Since the Vizier moves horizontally and vertically, it's a good way to establish control of a given rank or file, especially in the early game, when you typically haven't deployed your rooks yet. The Vizier, on the other hand, starts the game on the second rank of the pawn, so you can immediately seize control of the rank or file, even if you can't do that much with precision. Excuse me. There's no way of knowing how many spaces the dice will let you move, but it does discourage your opponent from stepping into the field of attack. Or, of course, the Cook County board is about 10 feet wide, and even though you get 304 pieces and 304 pawns, you only get one Vizier, so essentially it's a gimmick option in the vast majority of options. I usually just sacrifice my Vizier early in the game so I can set up a strong pawn structure in the Cicero area of the board, or Skokie, depending on how the game's going. Or, wait, I've been saying Vizier instead of Councilman. Did I say Vizier? Anyway, I've used to call it the Vizier, but it's the Councilman in the new version. I've actually got both versions in my house, so we can play either one. There's no actual difference between the two versions, except one of them has a special piece called the Vizier, and the other newer version, it's called the Councilman. That's a really good gas station next to my house.
Excuse me.
Just for your information, according to the chapter rules, if you leave a table during a match, you have to surrender $1.38 in in-game money for every minute you're absent.
Okay. Coach, Christ, thanks for calling. You got me away from the situation. There's this guy, I told you I'm at a chess club tonight, and this guy keeps talking about, I'm in Ayuka right now. From here? I guess I just take the WKU field and hit Georgia Tech that way, about 350 miles probably. What happened? I don't know. I don't think they have a TV here. All right. Checking. Excuse me. I'm sorry. A little bit of a weird question, but I don't suppose you happen to have a TV here.
We do.
Sorry to be annoying, and I hate to ask, but could I turn on the news for a minute?
Did something happen?
Apparently, I'm on the phone with my coach. He says something's going on.
Oh, well, all right, sure. Something about the game?
Yeah, he's just saying to look at the scoreboard.
What channel?
What channel? He says any channel.
Okay.
Some really stunning movement here, Chuck. So if you follow me over to the big board, if I could get the camera to follow me over here, these are the college football rankings. We're saying here is what we just saw live in the newsroom just minutes ago.
Oh.
In an instant, 58 teams jumped up a spot on the leaderboard. So if you're South Carolina State, congratulations to you. You now sit in sole possession of third place. If you're Cincinnati, Howard, or Texas, congratulations to you. You're now tied for the fourth-ranked team in the nation.
Jesus, Georgia Tech.
Congratulations also to Oklahoma. After some 400 years out of the top 25, you now find yourself back there as you pull into a tie for 12th. But the big story, of course, Chuck, and the movement that shifted more than half the teams in college football up the rankings is Georgia Tech. The Yellow Jackets are in free fall. 1 second, they were the number 3 team in the nation. The next, they plummeted into a tie for 40th place. Given that teams with equal numbers are listed alphabetically, it seems almost certain that Tech, however many footballs they held, lost every single one of them. What we're seeing here, folks, is not the fading of a dynasty, it's not the crumbling of a dynasty, it's dynasty that's vanished in an instant. And I can only imagine what the scene is tonight at Bobby Dodd Stadium.
I don't believe this.
You need to leave?
In a minute, probably.
The question now for all of us in the newsroom, for every team in the nation, and for all the amateur sleuths on internet message boards, the mystery we'll be trying to solve in the coming days, weeks, perhaps even years, is this. Where are those footballs? 2 schools of thought are already forming among our news team here in Los Angeles. One supposes that they've all moved to Georgia Southern, whose field shares an intersection with Georgia Tech's.
Ooh.
No, wasn't that?
But Chuck, this would require a very specific set of circumstances here. Let's zoom in again at the top 3.
Because, yeah.
You'll notice that the top 2 teams in the country, Michigan State and Georgia Southern, didn't move an inch. Of course, we don't know exactly how many football they have. Our best estimates previously put Michigan State at around 25, Georgia Southern at least 20, and Georgia Tech at 15 or very close to it. So let's just do some pretend math here. Again, these are nothing more than guesses, but let's play it out here. If our estimates are anywhere near correct, Tech's footballs could not have transferred to Georgia Southern. That would give them 35, which would have knocked Michigan State out of the top spot. That did not happen. The Spartans didn't move. And since we can be virtually certain that Georgia Tech lost every one of their footballs, not just a portion of them, I think at the moment it's much more likely that either Tech moved them just off the field somewhere for safekeeping, or an opponent stole them and did the same. At any rate, we've now got half the teams in the country making a beeline for Tech's field. We've got reports that TCU is sending in 35 players. Kentucky's sending dozens. There is blood in the water. And Chuck, this is the most seismic event college football has seen in hundreds of years, if not 1,000 years.
I'm sorry to bail on a match, but I need to pack up.
It's fine. No problem.
Wait, you can't leave. You haven't finished arbitration.
You shut the fuck up. I mean, sorry. Nice meeting you.
Abandoning the match now will lower your ranking from 1,200 to 1,150 automatically. It'll take you years to reestablish your rating. You'll never be able to play a match against someone of my caliber again. I'm a 3rd category regional master.
Please stop. You are out of line. We've worked for centuries to build the reputation of the Illinois chess community.
This is bullshit.
It was an emergency situation. Rule 37C permits a player to abandon the match in the event of an emergency situation. This qualifies under that rule.
Oh, what? Did a sports ball happen?
I'm gonna fucking kill you!
Wow.
I'm glad we can all agree, fuck this guy.
Fuck this guy. It's
Oh
the
my
worst.
god, it's so fun to play because this is so fucking awful, but I can...
YouTube video.
Hit play!
Is me?
Yeah.
I believe this is you.
I've been thinking this theory. I can't help myself. So, as the story goes, people from around the Mediterranean casually scooped up the remains of Alexander the Great and Cleopatra, which, of course, is a very easy thing to do, and then sailed across the Atlantic, navigated through the Caribbean, found the Mississippi Delta, sailed north, disembarked there for some reason, and decided that future Illinois, of all places, was where they buried them.
Yeah, settlement needs 3 things nearby to thrive: fresh water, White Castle, crystal. To argue that they would have bypassed the shared slider territory of the Tennessee Valley only to settle exclusively steamed burger lands is absurd.
People believe this shit?
Yeah, we're talking about a handful of people, but yeah.
Wonder what motivates that.
In this particular case, a couple of things are going on. First, some hucksters invented a story to try and make a buck. Second, it's sort of an origin story that latched on to some people who really needed to feel like people from the old world are supposed to be here. But more broadly, I think a consequence of stealing land is that you never find the significance of it. Whatever lies made up along the way justify your crimes, they just fade away. There are a lot of people who grew up down here in a society that was missing spirit, purpose, anything sacred. Some feel that they found it in an eternal paradise. Others have concluded that they will never find that, and have come to peace with it. And then, there are some people who, in this post-consequence existence, need to assign the sort of historical importance that they see in Paris, or Audis, or Ababa, or Bangkok.
It's here in abundance, of course. It's just a history that they choose not to think about. I thought about that a lot when I worked on this game. I spent years negotiating with various people and properties along these fields. A lot of Native American tribes gave permission to players pass through their lands. Some didn't. Remember the game in Georgia a couple weeks back with those beautiful bums who threw the football on the highway? Bet you anything they didn't know this, but Ball Ground, Georgia is a site the Cherokee people once used to play games of stickball. By incredible coincidence, if you continue southwest in the Clemson field, you find Ball Play, Alabama, where the Cherokee did the same. Here they played stickball to resolve disputes. It was a rough game, injuries abounded, but it was a genius innovation because it served as a substitute for warfare. For a while, everyone played, men, women, old, young, whoever. They called it the little brother of war. Absolutely brilliant. A big, sprawling game, far larger than any conventional sport that would follow. Designed as a substitute for death. Inspired me beyond words. I mean, don't remind you anything?
Live it up.
Okay.
That's awesome. Good for you, bud.
Thank you for being willing to do a shorter episode with me.
Of course. Yeah.
Of course.
Big appreciate.
Your
At
host
least we
comes
got to
first.
do one this week. My
I'm
goodness.
Yeah.
so
We've been
sorry.
postponing it for 2 weeks.
I'm so sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm the other reason we didn't.
Honestly, I mean, I wouldn't have been able to do a stream last week anyway.
Fair, yeah.
Or I guess I would have been able to do audio theater, but like it wouldn't have been an ideal setup. In any case, thank you so much for watching. If you've been watching live, I appreciate it. If you're watching just the VOD before I put it on private, thanks for watching while you've had this window of time to watch this whole thing uncut. If you're watching the edited version of this episode of Audio Theater, hopefully you're enjoying. Hopefully you enjoyed this little like bottle episode.
Delightful little bottle
Ian says he
episode.
enjoyed it.
There was a little bit of like Nick and Manny drama, and then it just dropped right into what is chess in the future.
Fucking chaos. Yeah, oh yeah, from the saddest thing
Yeah.
to just, what is
Massage.
this?
Yeah,
Fucking
and then
what?
you've got the tournament guy that doesn't shower.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ugh, gross.
I've met
Definitely-
Yu-Gi-Oh players like him.
Resident Magic
Definitely a
the
Magic the Gathering player.
Yes.
But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, maybe you want to like the butt, the butt.
We do
I
like
like
the
all
butt.
like the butt.
Connor does have a nice butt, so you should like Connor's butt.
It's non-existent. There's just,
I know.
there's just
I
a
can fix
void where
that.
my butt should be.
I can fix
From
get
that.
one void butt to another.
It's just a long back. Yeah, no, I get that.
But yeah, you can click the like button, is what I meant to say.
The like butt?
Yeah, you can leave a comment as to your thoughts, feelings, theories on what's going to happen. If there are other horror games that you would like to see me play, you can leave those in the comments. If you have not gone to my Fourth Wall site, you can do so either to become a member and get some exclusive content, or you can also buy merch there. You can do both. You can do one or the other. I don't know. You can do whatever you want. I'm not your dad. Right now.
Yet.
What is that supposed to mean?
Don't
Wait
worry
a
about
minute.
it, Bonk.
Wait a minute. You stay away from my mama. You stay away.
But with
Your
all
mom
that
needs a
said,
nice man.
yeah. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you later, son.
Bye.
Goodbye. 20 seconds of silence. I fucking hate chess. I hate chess so much. I want to fucking kill that guy. I want to fucking kill that guy so bad. I want to fucking
All my
I wanna
homies
beat him.
hate chess.
I want to throw a fucking brick at his head.
Down with
That
misogyny.
game. I don't think it's gonna last.
He's
That's funny
just
as hell.
10. Anywhere else he'd be a 10.